Hello! Hi! Welcome to Kilroy's Game Grounds. I don't think you were expecting this. So, slight change up. Instead of playing Star Wars games all the time, I've decided I want to play other games. Shocker, I know. There's only so many Star Wars games, though, that I get extremely excited about playing, and to be perfectly honest, I wanted a bit of a change up. So, I'm pretty excited to be here, doing something a little different. And I'm hoping you guys are going to enjoy this as well. We're calling this exact same time slot. It's not going to change in any way. Kilroy's Game Grounds, and it is going to be my stream in which I play like Amber does on Fridays with Bambi Plays. I'm going to play whatever I want. Predominantly going to be focused on what I want to play, but I will be taking suggestions down the line. I've got a few games on deck that I already am going to start with that are I haven't seen a lot of stream stuff for, but I know they're out there. So yeah. I hope that's okay with everybody because we're not changing it back. That's not to say I'm never going to play Star Wars games again. I will go back and revisit them again. I've got the Ultimate Sith Edition now of Force Unleashed, so at some point I'd like to do a playthrough of that and do all of the post-game dark side stuff, so you can have that. And I'm also going to, well, when I get my hands on a copy of it, do a stream of Squadrons, probably with a couple of people, just because Squadrons is fun in concept alone, but it's more fun when you play with your buds. So, yeah, brace yourself for when that comes up. That will be widely publicized. There's a couple of other streamers I know who have it, and I think I'm going to try and play with them if I can too. So, we'll see. Down the list of the rest of announcements, coming up this November, a friendly reminder, there is going to be a 24-hour charity stream Amber and I are going to be on. It's going to replace Nostalgia 1 Player 0, but we will be hosting that stream here. So you'll be able to watch here. You'll still see us. You also see some of our other friends in the D&D community who are very kindly taking us in to let us join them for their 24-hour stream for Extra Life. And that's going to be November 7th and 8th. The rest of the schedule this week is back to normal. Bambi Plays will return on Friday. I think she's still playing Borderlands, so join Amber for that. Saturday night, we are going back to Nostalgia 1 Player 0. Don't worry, we are getting it back this week. Haven't decided what we're going to do. We might be going back to Zelda this week, guys. We might be going back to it. So if you've been looking forward to the next part of that, us either finishing the Shadow Temple or Spirit Temple, one of the two, that'll be happening this week. Possibly. Might also be a different game. You have to join us to find out. If you're not a subscriber on YouTube, that's okay, but we'd appreciate it if you gave us either subscribe there or follow here or both if you're feeling so inclined. All streams leading up to these moments have been recorded and stored there, so you can go watch previous VODs and stuff like that. With the end of another Star Wars Enthusiasts playthrough of Jedi Outcast, I'm now going to be creating a new playlist there, so you can find all these streams there. Give us a like on Facebook if you're feeling so inclined to get all updates on announcements, news, and anything like that that you might want to know, as well as all links and times. Schedule is, of course, available here. And if you want to support us on Patreon, we'd love the support. We try to do our best for you guys, but you never know what's going to happen. So, yeah. That's it. We're playing GreedFall. GreedFall is a game that I recently discovered that I'm very excited about. It is a game in which we play as a colonial era adjacent. So it's best described, or so has been best described in my opinion, as like a not funny Fable with cross the water stuff. So, advanced warning, there is some pretty obvious references to colonial era. I would call it an invasion, but it's more like mass immigration to North America. So there's going to be some stuff like that in there. There will be references to a adjacent, but not exactly the same as church, the Catholic Church. So if you have an issue with that, if you have an issue with how I handle that or how it's handled, please don't feel obligated to watch. Same deal with how they treat the natives in this game. Please note, I don't agree with it, how a lot of the nations are treating them, and I'm not going to argue with you about politics. That's not what the point of the stream is. So if you're here to talk politics, please don't talk about it in my chat. I will politely ask you to leave. I haven't got Nightbot set up to ban you yet, but I will find a way. Don't worry. Just don't push me, okay? Great. Let's play some GreedFall. You guys are wanting to see GreedFall. I want to play GreedFall, so let's play some GreedFall. I'm playing with a controller. There was a couple of optimization recommendations I found online for it, too. I've played a little bit of this, by the way, as well. This is not the first time I've ever touched this game, but I've not completed a playthrough of it yet. I have an offline playthrough I'm doing. We're going to start a brand new one for the stream. But yeah, what was I saying? Oh, right, politics. Keep your politics out of my chat, if you don't mind. This game is... got some politics in it. That's fine. We can overwrite my autosave stuff. I play on normal difficulty, regardless of how much experience I have with the game. That's because I want a bit of a challenge, but I still want to be able to enjoy the story, and I want you guys to enjoy me playing it. I'm playing my offline one in normal mode, too.
Could you stand a little taller, just a tad?
Like this?
Yes, yes. The chin a tiny bit lower. Gaze a little more to the right. There! Now, hold the pose.
All right, well... I think we want to be... I'm playing my offline playthrough as a man. How do I want to do this? I think I want to play it as a man again just because that's easiest for me. I think that's probably a pretty good preset. Yeah, that looks pretty me right there. Definitely want a different hairstyle. What are we thinking for hair? Are we thinking... We want something that's kind of like what I got, right? We're going to have this guy look like as much like me as we can. Oh, now that man has a striking hairstyle. Not my hairstyle, mind you, but... I think that's actually probably the closest one that I have to it. I don't have the undercut, but I am getting a haircut soon, so maybe I will. Hey, maybe I'll do that, guys. We don't want mutton chops. I usually try to rock a little bit of stubble, so let's rock us a little bit of stubble, eh? Y'all know how big my eyebrows are. I'm pretty pasty, but I won't go that pale. Hair color, we're a blondie boy. We're a little more blondie boy. That's probably the color right there, honestly. And we want our blue eyes. I think that's about my tint right there. Okay. So, this is where things get interesting. Typically, I go into warrior builds just because I like to be able to do lots of stuff with one-handed weapons. But I'm thinking about going a little harder into magic this time around, just for fun. We always get one-handed heavy weapons, eh? Go technical. These ones are going to get a science at the beginning, which is pretty awesome to have. You know what? I know who I am as a human. I gotta go warrior. That's just what I tend to do. Okay, so it recommends strength and endurance for lead attributes. Increases the power of all melee. Increases the maximum of life and balance. Increases the fury generation and all damage inflicted in melee combat. See, okay, agility to me seems like the best one to start with, just because of what we end up doing a lot. But we really want to be able to break armor better. No, we're going to go with that, I think. Actually, I'm already regretting that. Can we reset that real quick? I think I want to go endurance. No, you know what? We're going to go agility. And now we got to pick one of these things. So, I love going the charisma route for a lot of my builds. I tend to go pretty hard into that. We're going to do that because charisma is great. Yeah, we're going to create this guy.
Just a few more minutes. You have such an incredibly singular face. That's a compliment, my lord, out of my mouth. Your
Yeah, I believe that.
particularity gives you character.
You're still here?
We've nearly finished. Have you any more need of me, Master?
You haven't forgotten that we're setting sail today, have you?
Of course not.
So, one of the chief complaints I've had from friends is
Cousin is nowhere to be found. I've searched the palace from cellars to attics. Your uncle is beside himself.
He was of a mind to paint the town last night. Don't worry, I shall track him down. Make care to your own preparations without wrinkling another frown. We'll meet you on the boat.
It's about time your cousin took account of the responsibilities awaiting him. He should go and inform the ambassadors of Telemi and the Bridge Alliance of his departure.
Have no fear, Master. I will go and see them in his name. I beg your pardon, but urgent matters call me away. Might we finish all this later?
Impossible, my lord. You are leaving with the tide, if what I've been told is correct.
I am sorry, sir. Truly, I must be going.
My lord, please, I beg you. Her Highness has personally requested I finish.
Thank you, cousin, for getting me out of that.
okay. Yeah, so like I was saying, we've got quite a few things to get done. I am choosing to play with a controller because it makes life a lot easier. I've had to turn down the camera sensitivity to basically 0, and it's still this fast. Like, that's insane to me. So, we're going to do all the side quests. It tends to be the best way to... Can I go in there? No? Okay. We're going to do all the side quests because it gets us better, more experience points before we actually leave for the new worlds. And you only get one shot at doing all the stuff here in Serene. So.
Hey! Green blood!
Kurt.
And so the day has finally come. My royal fledglings are leaving the nest.
Accompanied by their most loyal and tenacious master of arms.
As loyal as your gold.
Enough with the cold mercenary. I know you like us. Still hiding your men in the unsuspecting shadows of the greats of this world, I see.
Hey, our blades are the only thing keeping you dainties alive.
Kurt, I'm not in need of your protection. I'm no longer a child, you know.
Is that so? Well, let's see. Fight with honor!
There we go. Prove to Kurt we can fight, eh? Oh, he got me good with that one. Okay. Tactical pause. So this is where we're learning all the basics. Oh, right. We were going to assign this to... Just got to get back. Oh, he got me good with that one. Wow, he delivers a lot of damage with that. Oh, I gotta move. Gotta move. Gotta move. Oh, he got me so good. Oh, yeah, I decided it was probably...
Me who thought myself a competent weapons master.
It's becoming a little hard to believe.
Don't add insult to injury. This is humiliating enough.
You say that,
You through the basics, or you risk getting your feathers plucked at the first sign
but I
of
did
trouble.
pretty well. I gotta say, that's way better than the first time I did
In
it.
that case, Otto here is going to be your training partner. Go,
Fight with honor.
It's the only way we're really going to get the, yeah. So we're going to assign this to up. I typically find that's the best one for me to put it in. Cool. Do. All right. Fury is that state in which we do extra damage, so that's great. Use Fury. Yeah. Except we're not going to stick it out with the sword. We never stick it out with the sword.
It does, and I'd like to be on my way. I've quite the list of things to do before we depart.
Indeed. Remember that you can always train in our barracks on the island if you're feeling rusty.
Are your bags packed for the great departure?
Yes, you know I get by with very little. You're not angry that I'm coming with you, I hope.
No, we're not bothered.
I'm thrilled that both you and Sir de Corsilion are joining our party. A few friends at your side in unknown territory is a boon.
Ah, so the old goat is coming too. And there I was thinking I would die of boredom on the trip. By the way, where is our future governor hiding? I was hoping to put his skills to the test as well.
I have no idea. He had plans to celebrate his departure last night, and we haven't seen him since. You know Constantine. I should have gone with him, but my heart wasn't in the mood for celebration. The thought of bidding my mother farewell.
It is never easy to say goodbye. But you should be going to see her now. She must be waiting for you. I'll meet you in front of the palace. Then we'll go and find Constantine together.
Very well. I'll meet you as soon as I've said my goodbyes.
All right. So we're going to go do a side questy bit where we say goodbye to Mama. And then I guess we'll go out and do the main storyline.
What is this? Have you not been taught to knock? I've asked 1,000 times. Oh, it's you, my dear child.
I'm sorry. I'm having trouble getting used to your condition.
Come now, let's speak of more pleasant things. I'm so very happy to hear your voice. You remind me so much of your father. I do miss him so. Today is the big day, isn't it? Ready to set sail for that island everyone's talking about.
Yes, but the idea of leaving you behind, alone and ill...
Dying, my child. Alas, there is nothing you can do by staying that would ease my suffering. One thing brings me cheer. They say the island is full of miracles, and we might find a cure.
Even if I were to find it, I would never be able to return in time to...
I know. But it brings me comfort to know my son has left on a mission to heal his people. Come now. It is time for you to take leave. Here. Take this with you.
What is it?
A family heirloom. Something that... Take it and keep it with you. May it bring you good luck. All my blessings go with you, my child. Now, be off.
One thing that I am pretty impressed by is they went with a neutral name like Desarde for your protagonist, so you'll always be Desarde regardless of if you're playing a man or a woman. There are a couple of hiccups. So there's a couple of hiccups in the game that exist. I was going to get some mods to fix them, but I just hadn't gotten around to it. But essentially, the mods correct some of the dialogue mistakes that are made. So there's a couple of non-gendered dialogue bits, which are fine. But then there's a couple of incorrectly gendered ones as well, where as male Desarde, you're called whatever they use as the honorific for female in this scenario. And when you're playing as female Desarde, they make the mistake of calling you Sir or Lord. But considering I've never played a playthrough as a female Desarde yet, I still don't know what the titles or honorifics are they decided to use. I gotta back up here. Take a potion. Oh, gotta back up. Oh, need more room. Take another health potion. Alright, and we did all that so we could get some bonus loot. This is like the one area I didn't explore in my offline mode. So, this is the inventory screen. I'm going to be in here a lot, so might as well just get used to seeing it, guys. This is where I'm going to spend a substantial amount of time. Alright, we got some extra loot in the corner. I dig loot. Loot is great. And since we've gone the charisma route, we're going to get away with a lot more talking, which is what I try to go for. I won't be save scumming during the stream. I prefer the Iron Man approach when I'm doing streams. Just go and whatever happens, happens, despite the fact that sometimes, you know, you're like, I don't like that had a 50% chance of succeeding. Like, I've done that a couple times offline. I don't feel bad doing that when it's literally 50-50. It's like, you flipped a coin and I got the bad flip. I don't like that. Let me flip the coin again because I have the choice. But for this, whatever happens, happens. We're just going to stick it out and roll with the punches as they were.
It's done.
Sorry, Greenblood. Look, we can see the masts of the ship that'll be taking us. This is one sacred adventure we're embarking on.
I hope this island will keep its promises.
In order to know that, we'll need to find Constantine first.
You're right. Maybe he's already at the port. He was so eager to leave.
This will be quite the chore to finish before our departure. The commander wants to recover some merchandise from our supplier, but the transporter doesn't want to deliver. I did all I could to persuade. Nothing came of it. All the parliamenting fatigues me. But this is your domain. I wouldn't say no to a little help.
Of course. Where is the supplier?
In the lower boroughs, near the port.
Right then. We'll put it on our list of visits.
Hope it's okay with everybody that I'm doing it this way, though. It's just like, I'm taking it slow. It's intentional. I don't want to rush anything. But, you know, be also nice if I didn't have to take things too slowly.
Where would you like to begin?
I've been
So,
asked to pay visits to the ambassadors of Thélème and the Bridge Alliance before our departure. Their dwellings are not far from here. We could go there first.
Very well. Do you think Constantine will be waiting for us next to the ship?
I don't know, but it's certainly worthy of inspection.
so yeah, we got quite a few little bits of write-up stuff. We got a lovely codex that kind of summarizes everything for us. Obviously, we picked up a few things, and we've got a mother's present thing, which is a story item, which doesn't actually matter all that much. But so we've got a few quest items to do. Like I said, we're going to try and complete as many of the side quests as we can. I like completing the side quests for the bonus experience points. There's not, according to what I've read a lot of online, to actually grind your character to eventually hit max level and stuff like that, you hit a max level for returns, of course. And you also hit a max level for, well, you're not going to really hit a max level for the playthrough, but it seems like a lot of people don't actually get to maximum level for their playthroughs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to just get as many levels as I can doing quests and minimize how much grinding I'm doing. To me, grinding doesn't really progress the story or the game at all. So there's also a plague. So here's the story thus far. As far as you guys probably could gather, we are heading to a place called the New World. We're heading to this island. The island is... we're going to learn more about it as we play through, but the island is supposedly home to where we might find the cure. The cure to what we are currently dealing with, which is a plague. So it's like people were trying to go to the New World to escape a plague in England kind of thing, except this isn't England. We're in like an adjacent of France of sorts, really? Hello. They never say anything particularly useful, these folks.
Sire, I'm sorry. I'm afraid that I won't make for good company.
I don't know. I think that depends what you're into. We're gonna head down the stairs. So we're going on a side quest right now, of course, as I've mentioned a couple times. But as I go, I'm going to try and hit spots I wouldn't have otherwise hit the first time I did my playthrough. Trying to collect as much loot as I can. Loot is a big thing to have lots of. If you can find tons. Oh, and we aren't going to contract the disease, whatever that ends up being. Ah, torn out page of a diary. My pains are getting stronger and stronger. My guts are churning. It is getting harder and harder for me to run the shop, and some evenings I can't even feel my legs anymore. It's as though they've turned to ice. There's no longer any doubt. The Malachor has got me, like so many others. Today, I had so little strength that I couldn't even cross the road to get to my shop. Who needs books when everybody is dying anyway? All that's left for me to do is drag myself a little to the little dispensary they installed behind the barracks and hope they can ease my suffering. So, yeah, long story short, the Malachor is the name of the disease, and it is killing everybody. Oh, time to take a health potion. Yes, we're going to definitely take everything. Take everything all the time. And we're going to take a look at our equipment because we just picked up some cool new stuff. We just got a new sword that is better but lesser for effectiveness against armor, which is fine because we want the extra damage. We're fast. We've been playing this very quick, so let's go with that. And we just got a new torso thing, too. We got an old leather coat, which it just seems to be good across the board. So let's do that. Yeah, let's do the old leather coat. So as we go along, we'll find more equipment that we're going to swap in and out for, of course, as we do. I could talk to Kurt, but he doesn't really have anything insightful to say at this point. We're already doing a side quest for him, so we're working on that right now. Let's go this way. Yep, wise choice. Found some loot. And yes, before anyone says it, yes, I'm very aware of the fact that I'm a very, very jerky gamer when it comes to these kinds of games, because I'm always just trying to look for everything. And because I have an iota of exposure to this game already, I kind of know what I'm looking for. So as long as I find what I'm looking for, I'll snag it. We're also going to need to make sure we hang on to pretty much all articles of clothing we pick up, because we're going to need that for some of the plotline stuff. There's some really weird things about disguises in this game, but one of the key takeaways from well, all of that. Come on, open. Open! There we go. One of the key takeaways from all of that is as long as we're wearing a predominantly of a certain faction piece of equipment, we tend to get away with everything except murder, which means we can just walk into places we're supposedly not allowed to walk into and just do stuff, which is kind of great. This is one of the storyline places we should be going to eventually. However, at this point in time, I don't think I want to pick... Well, we can go pick up that part of the side quests. Honestly, I'd really rather we just finish the guard one first. So yeah, this game is taking place during this world's equivalent of the colonial era. So I mentioned it as a little disclaimer at the beginning of my stream. I'm going to just sort of shout it out now as well. Jesus. Is it really, really laggy for you guys?
The merchant is there.
Looks like it might be. Hang on. Let's see if we can fix this a little bit. Hopefully that cleans things up at least a little. No, it doesn't look like it. Okay, hang on. We're going to try and fix this a little bit here, guys. Sorry, Sorry, it's just going to reset. I'm trying to turn down the encoding a little bit. Not the encoding, the game quality, so it's a little cleaner for you guys to watch. Yeah, that looks a lot better. Sorry, I should have been paying more attention to that. Okay, that should do it. I mean, I've still got it set to really high settings, so it's as high quality as I would... I mean, I'm good with this. I don't care if it's at Ultra or not. All Ultra seemed to do for me was make things glitchy, so... Right, no, we found the merchant just now, so we're going to go talk to him. The accidental sneaking thing is because I'm used to sprinting by pressing in the stick, but in this one it makes you sneak, and you sprint by holding down the X button on my PlayStation controller, which is what I'm playing on. Here we go.
Good day, good sir. How might I be?
He's got the Malachor.
You can start by explaining to me why you refused to honor the orders agreed upon with the guard.
There's been a misunderstanding, sir. Of course we're ready to honor the orders. In fact, I've already had a word with your master-at-arms.
They're asking that we pay again, despite having already paid.
Well,
It's just
no.
that the price has gone up since. I've nothing to do with it.
This is inadmissible.
This is really
if you
stupid.
agree on a sum, you need to honor that agreement.
I'm sorry, sir. I'm just an agent, and I'm only obeying orders.
Your master has apparently asked you to demand a second payment for this merchandise.
That's right. He told me that their attendant seemed to be hiding something when he passed the order. And so he must have thought the guard would end up paying in the end, whatever he asked for.
I'll be damned. And I'm the one they've sent to settle the affair.
Well, they're very supportive, aren't they?
It's nothing personal. I'm only following orders.
Following orders. Yeah, we hear you. Makes one wonder which one of the two of us is a coin guard.
Ha!
Why don't we go and solicit other suppliers, Kurt?
When we've already paid for the merchandise? If these thieves agree to reimburse the original payment, it's what we do immediately. And do know, in the future, we won't be shopping with them. Well, I should think not.
This whole story sounds suspicious and stinks of a scandal. You're demanding a second payment but refuse to reimburse the one that was already made.
I'm not the one demanding nor refusing. It's my master.
This stubborn fool is pushing me to madness. You understand now why I'm asking for your help?
So, we've got a 75% chance of using the charisma route, so let's do
I
that.
don't think you understand who you're dealing with. Perhaps I failed to present myself properly. Lord de Sardet,
nephew of the Prince d'Orsay and legate of the Congregation of Merchants. During our conversation, you explained to me that your master forced you to commit a crime. That's regrettable, especially as you will be considered his accomplice in extortion, theft. You know as well as I that the congregation does not tolerate such illegal activities.
But I'm only obeying orders.
That is a shame. Well, as orders are the only language you seem to understand, I order you to return the guard the merchandise, without delay. Unless you'd rather your master is hung and that you finish your days in prison.
Successful charisma.
As you request, my lord. I shall go immediately and ask that these crates be delivered to the attendant.
Now that's a wise decision.
Thank you. I was beginning to think this would never end. You're certainly honoring your new title. Bravo! The quartermaster must be expecting us.
All right, so we got to go talk to the quartermaster of Old Serene. So at this point, we know we're really close to... Oh, we got to go fight. There we go. The fight is ours. Alright, let's loot the bodies. Old studded cuirass. Yeah, we like those. Those are great. Great for extra armor and the like. So let's go ahead and slap that sumbitch on. Oh, we can't... We don't have enough endurance for that. Okay. We took our first dot in endurance, didn't we? What did we take our first dot in? We went agility for our sword. Okay. Well, we're going to get endurance up eventually anyway, so we won't worry about that too much yet. Okay, we now know what Hawthorne is and Dragonblood Resin. And we already knew about that because we read that one already. Oh, barrel. Yes, please and thank you. That's great. So yeah, this is going pretty well, I would say, so far. We have lost very little life. We've done a lot of damage. We've got a couple quests on the go. We're going to jump over a wall. Ah, yes. Okay. I know what's going on over there. Okay, so I'm going to try and figure something out here because the game looks kind of glitchy and laggy on my end. Oh. What the hell? Sorry, guys. Is everything... What the hell? This was working perfectly earlier. Okay, hang on one second here, guys. Fine, whatever. Not sure what to make of that. Let's try... Well, it's gonna be like that. We'll just work around it, I guess, eh? Oh, weird. Well, I don't know what's going on there. Nope, that's just too weird. Well, we're going to try and stick it out with Sparkle Cam anyways. So just take a brief moment to recalibrate some stuff. That should do it there. Okay, and we'll bring the game back up. Okay. subtitles, text small, combat UI full, exploration UI. Well, I don't know what's causing any issues right now, but I'll try and fix it for next time. Because I am going to continue playing this is my goal, so... Yeah. Since we're right here, we're just going to get this ball rolling. Got ample time to do this, so...
Good day, Excellency.
Sir de Sade, to what do I owe the pleasure?
I have come to inform you that my cousin Constantine and I are departing for Tirfredi on the hour.
Tirfredi.
Ah, yes.
That's the name of the place.
I did indeed hear talk that you had both received callings of greater stature. Allow me to congratulate you. Were you not named legate of the congregation?
You are correct, Excellency. I thank you.
It is a station of great honor that I am sure you will fill with brio and panache. The Mother Cardinal Cornelia will be enchanted to work with you, and your cousin in the future. I only regret that your departure is so sudden.
Really?
To be entirely honest with you, I was hoping to solicit your help in a rather delicate matter.
Tell me more about it, and perhaps I can take care of your problem before my departure.
Very well. A small group of dangerous heretics has found refuge in Serene. We know that your uncle tolerates the presence of all pagans within the city walls. But these particular non-believers threaten the fragile harmony of this place.
Oh my god.
We would consider it a tremendous favor if you would arrest them and deliver them to our guard.
I have a lot of problems
Heresy
with
is not a
this.
crime in Serene. You do know that. But I'm sure my uncle would hear your arguments. Why call on my intervention?
The prince would indeed give us his blessing, but it would take time. Far too much time. For according to our sources, these fugitives have already made contact with a smuggler to take them who knows where.
I see. You're hoping that I'll be able to do something before they make it to an enemy city. If your heretics are planning on boarding a ship, then they must be in the dockyards. I'll look into this and see what I can do.
See, okay, so we're going to go ahead and ask some questions. Let's ask about
Can you
Theleme.
tell me anything about Theleme?
Theleme.
It would be a pleasure. As you already know, our glorious nation is guided by our faith.
Sounds like the Holy Roman Empire up in here.
Our founder and greatest prophet.
Yep, definitely Holy Roman Empire.
And give thanks each day to the Luminous for having gifted us magic. The high dignitaries of Theleme are at the same time our spiritual guides, advocates, and grand mages.
Well, that's cool.
I've heard say that dissensions have appeared recently in your nation.
Ah, you must certainly be speaking about the debates that have divided the Ordo Luminous and the more political orders. The Lord Luminous has an extremely pure vision of our faith and applies the words of our saint very strictly. But other, more open-minded factions exist within our nation. They believe that a less rigid dialectic would attract souls more readily to our faith.
I'm inclined to agree.
But their differences are purely theoretical and do not threaten the cohesion of our nation, I assure you.
Except they do. The fact that he says, oh, it doesn't threaten it, implies that it does. Like, let's be honest here, that's just how that goes. Relations with the congregation. This is us.
Relations between our two nations.
As ambassador of Theleme, I can only rejoice at the mention of our commercial treaties.
That is
We appreciate
such a
this
political
warm
move right there.
welcome that your uncle gave to our missionaries.
Very tactical.
Thanks to your support, more and more believers wander your lands.
Yeah.
The congregation
That's how
is
it works.
our most precious ally. To be perfectly honest, we have only two complaints.
Only two.
That heresy is tolerated, and that your treaties with the Bridge Alliance are maintained.
But the Bridge Alliance is great. We like Bridge Alliance.
How is Theleme faring on Tirfredi?
We don't like them.
We built a marvelous city, San Mateus, on the western coast of the island. Did you know that certain historians believe that it might well have been the final resting place of our prophet?
How they justified it, Holy
Our
War.
missionaries there are a multitude. Not a day passes without new islanders joining our sacred faith.
Whether they like it or not.
Of course, there are certain pockets of resistance. There is talk of a demonic cult. Disgusting creatures.
I disagree.
But
Well,
I'm confident that the Ordo Luminous will be able to put an end to these horrors.
I think arguably you guys would have to be the judge
And
of
we
it.
have tremendous hopes that the entire native population will join our ranks.
Again, an if they like it or not thing. I don't like that. I really don't care for Thélème, but part of the quests.
The conflict with the Bridge Alliance.
Your territory is, alas, the only one that has been spared from the ravages of war on the continent.
Holy
We fight
War.
on every front. Without great success, one must say. But what other choice do we have?
So we're going to see the Bridge Alliance next.
These so-called savants not only refuse the light, but are determined in their fight against it.
And on Tirfredi?
To my knowledge, no one has yet seen any serious fighting. The Bridge have succeeded in provoking the natives
That's true.
and have their hands full keeping them at bay. Which leaves us greater latitude to settle peacefully and pursue our mission of conversion.
Well, again, this is just, it's too easy. It's all whether they like it or
Must be
not.
going. Farewell, Excellency.
May the light guide you, Desade.
We're not guided by the light. We're guided by the enlightenment of knowing that we're not going to suck. Okay, so we're back in the streets. You guys all ready to see what they're doing with the dead? Giant funeral pyre in the middle of town. That's how you deal with the diseased. Alright, well, let's go have a chat with the Bridge Alliance, get that quest rolling too. We got multiple quests going all at the same time. We can complete them all at any real time we want. I like the Bridge Alliance, but they're meant to be the,
Excellency, Lord de Sade.
I would argue,
I have been told that you were named legate.
Ambassador Sahim.
Congratulations. Those are great responsibilities for someone as young as yourself.
It's true.
But you will bring honor upon your family and the congregation. Of that, I'm certain.
The bridge is not bad.
Thank you, Excellency. I've come here to inform you of our departure for Tirfredi. My cousin Constantine is about to take up office as governor of New Serene, and I'm accompanying him.
I had no idea you would be leaving so quickly. What a shame. I had thought... Well, then, that is a pity. Have a pleasant voyage. A brilliant future awaits you. They say that it is a marvelous island. Please convey to your cousin my congratulations and sincere wishes for success.
You seem slightly hesitant. Please, tell me what troubles you.
A rather unscrupulous individual has been sowing trouble in Serene. A charlatan passing himself off as an alchemist.
Do people actually give credence to these lies?
Alas, yes. They snatch up his celebrated panacea. Remedies worse than the ill, believe me. As you can well imagine, alchemists are our pride. This vulgar trickster casts dirt upon their reputation and our own at the same time. In any city of the Bridge Alliance, we would have arrested him. But here, we respect your laws.
I shall see what I can do, but make
So I
no
don't like
promises.
snake oil salesmen.
My departure is imminent.
I thank you, Excellency. And I am pleased to see you have taken so well to your new functions of diplomacy. The man operates in the city center. He is said to be clever and mean. Be careful.
I like that. He's said to be clever and mean. He's very mean. He's like, ah,
Would you be so kind as to tell me what you know about the Bridge Alliance?
With
this is
pleasure.
great. This is why I like the
A
bridge.
legate needs to know the history and strengths of his allies.
Mhm.
The alliance was sealed by several nations of the bridge around 200 years ago. The greatest of our cities, Al-Sad, became the capital, and a council formed from the different nations now rules. This union was originally put into place to better resist the appetites for conquering our neighbors. But our ancestors quickly realized that the union had also strengthened us economically and culturally. And of course,
having a cultural center point is fantastic.
Were strongly encouraged from the outset. Today, it is by no means an overstatement to claim that the Bridge Alliance leads our world in science and exploration. Each day, we push the limits of our understanding further in each and every domain.
I always try to be very cognizant of what they have to
Could you
say.
give me your understanding of the relations between the congregation and the bridge?
Our relations hang essentially on the quality of our trade and commerce. The exchanges are very profitable, especially on the cultural front. I will not hide from you that we have hoped you would join our number for quite some time. But your princes insist on maintaining a neutral stance between the congregation and the other nations on the continent. It is by all means a respectable position, even if it means you also trade with our enemies.
Well, that's interesting. Tier for D, please.
The Bridge Alliance has been on Tier for D for much longer than we have. What can you tell me?
It is true that we founded Hikmet, our newest city, around 15 years ago now. Alas, I haven't been able to go there myself. I can only tell you what others have reported to me. It is a luxurious island. An enormous dead volcano thrones in its center. The vegetation is extremely varied, and the fauna wondrous. We discovered animals that we had never ever seen before. Some are bigger than houses. But they're not the only occupants of the island. A savage and crude people also live there, who speak an incomprehensible language.
Which is actually
But
really
you shall
cool.
discover all of this for yourself soon enough.
I already know about their
And what of
relationship
your
with
war
Ptolemy.
It has been dragging on. In fact, it has been dragging on for years. It is madness. If those bigots hadn't gotten it in their heads to convert the entire continent, we wouldn't be in this situation. But that's the way of the world. We shall not waver, whether here or on Tier Fredi.
Have you been fighting battles there as well?
From what I've been told, Ptolemy has wisely and tastefully built their colony far from our city. Direct conflicts are in fact quite rare. But one day they will inevitably take place.
All right, then. All right, so that's enough. We can leave now.
I need to be going.
Let's go do some storyline stuff.
Goodbye, Lord de Sade.
All right, so just going down the list of stuff we got to get done. We got to go interrupt a charlatan, find our cousin, find some supposed heretics, which honestly don't seem like that bad of people, but that's just my opinion. I straight up think they're just people who believe a little differently and should be allowed to believe that way. You know, we have so many subsects in this modern day and age of all these varying faiths out there and everything like that. If we all just chose to accept that if there was more than one faith, we'd be much better off. But I'm going to avoid politics in the real world, sticking mostly to this world, in which I say the same thing. Dudes, just get the hell along. Alright, so we've got a main quest item we should be trying to accomplish, which is introduce ourselves to one of the other protagonist character types. Wait, can I go over this wall? No, I can't go over this wall. Okay. This way. Kurt, get out of my way. So we got to go introduce ourselves to Captain Vasco, who is a party member down the line, just as an FYI. We got to go check in here at the guards' barracks, the Coin Guard barracks, so we can talk to the leader about what happened. There's a shop over there we can hit up after. Yeah, the streets are just littered with the dead of the Malachor, as well as people who are coughing up a lung. But at least they have the decency to cover their faces. Now, unfortunately, washing your hands was not commonplace yet, so I'm imagining they're probably just spreading it every time they go and every time they see somebody and No one's social distancing. You know what? There's a lot about this game that I just found very relatable. So that's why I wanted to really play it. The beginning here is super relatable. Alright, we're in a back alley. And I don't know what's back here, really, except that there's some barrels and storage facility, and there's an underground access point to something. We'll come back for this later. I didn't know this was here. So that's super neat. I know this is here for a later part of the storyline. In the old warehouse district. So what we're going to do now is we're going to head over and we're going to go introduce ourselves to Vasco. We're going to do the bit with our cousin at the end, I think. That's the charlatan, by the way. Sorry for the little cough there. I'm actually okay. I'm dealing with vertigo, though, today, which was interesting. To the family of the rich man who provoked us, we have him, and we will kill him if you don't pay us handsomely. Come with a purse full to the south alley of the old warehouse district. Wonder if I could go do that. I actually don't know where I'm going, but it looks like there's stuff here that I haven't looted before, so I'll take it. We could talk to him, or we could go talk to Captain Vasco, who is this dude. There we go.
Lively there, lads and lasses! I promised the merchants and their prince we'd be off before the tide. You, man, carry that properly. That porcelain is worth more than your life.
Immediately drops it.
Children, we'd be best to refuse.
Captain Vasco.
And you are?
I'm de Sardet, the prince's nephew. If all is in order, we will soon be embarking on your boat.
It's a ship, not a boat.
Apologies.
It's like the most sailor thing I've ever heard.
But the young governor isn't with you.
He didn't come home this morning. I need to find him before departure.
I hope nothing's happened to him or he hasn't changed his mind. The tide does not wait.
Yes, it does.
Perhaps he simply celebrated his imminent departure with a little too much enthusiasm. Is everything ready?
We're short a crew member. The cabin boy is missing. But have no fear, we will leave without him if he does not present himself before the tide.
We're gonna find him.
Is he an important member of the crew?
We don't need him for sailing or navigation. He's only a cabin boy.
He must have simply had a bit too much to drink in celebrating his departure. Like another I know.
I doubt that. Jonas was never one to fancy drink. And it's been 2 days since last he was seen. No, I fear something bad has happened to him. Might I ask you, if you hear anything, could you report it to me? I would like to set sail with a clear mind.
So, we're gonna ask about the boy. When was the last time you saw
When
him?
did you see your cabin boy for the last time?
It's been 2 days since I've had any news at all. It wasn't out of the ordinary until this morning. My men have free shore leave when we're at dock. But the day of departure, every able-bodied sailor must be present on the ship.
It's a pretty good system he's got there.
Does the boy know anyone in Serene?
Other than fellow Nords, you mean? I don't.
So the knots or the nauticals?
It's difficult to be sure.
The doy. But they're a people that really fancy their boats. Ships.
Does the boy know anyone in Serene?
Other than fellow Nords, you mean? I don't think so, but...
I've already heard this one.
This Jonas, does he have any close friends amongst the crew?
In tradition, we are all members of the same family. But yes, there would be Flavio and Laura.
Might I have a word with them?
As you wish. You'll find them over there, in port.
So the knots, as far as I can explain, make you guys aware of, are just the nautical nation, but they have a bunch of their own traditions and rules, which make them a very freestanding civ kind of thing.
Comings and goings to spot possible stowaways. As long as they don't try and get on my ship, I pay no attention to them. That said, we did catch ourselves a smuggler just a while ago.
A smuggler? Maybe he could be of some use. Where could I find him?
In the port jails, not far from the warehouses. May I ask you, why the sudden interest in smugglers and the odd stowaway?
A couple of heretics are planning on leaving Serene. The ambassador of Thélème has entrusted me with the job of capturing them.
Happy to see that you trust me enough to seek my counsel in the affair.
We have no reason to hide anything from him.
I heard someone talking about the couple. The Cardinal's men are far from discreet.
That's for sure.
They're making quite some ruckus, asking to search our warehouses. We, of course, refused entry. Only the Nords have access.
So, we're not going to do this step for a little bit yet.
Stowaways aren't far, but we won't allow you to make a search to grab them. Not officially, at least.
What do you mean?
That discretion and malice are often more useful than titles and words.
So yeah, what it's basically implying is dress up in the right outfit and no one cares.
You haven't heard anything about my cousin by chance, have you? To be honest, we were hoping to find him here.
Did you say he was intending on celebrating his departure? My men spoke of a rather animated party that went down at the Coin Tavern, but I haven't heard anything else.
That isn't the safest place in the city. I hope nothing has happened to him.
Let's go and find him. Thank you, Captain.
Happy to be of some help.
I got one last thing to ask about, which is the knots themselves. So this will just sort of give you the full walkthrough of who these guys are. I can come back and do this if people want me to, or I can ask them now. You know, I'm just gonna ask them now.
Tell me a little about your guild.
We are masters of the oceans. Our ships can sail where no others dare.
Thanks to your magic, so I've heard. How do you become a Nord?
Our magic, yes, that only the Nords master. As for your question, any child born on one of our ships is seaborn. He is a Nord from birth. Others are sea-gifted, joining the Nords for different reasons, often from a young age. It's how the guild is made and maintains its numbers.
Pretty awesome if you ask me, just to be born into a nautical nation like that, but...
Could you tell me anything about our destination? The island of Tirfredi?
It is a magnificent place. Wild. Spared from your wars and your mines, for now. The natives have a relationship with their land and consider it sacred. They're a very
best two factions in this game, I would argue, are the Knots and the natives. Just because they're awesome. The people are the most accepting and most open.
Creatures, some enormous. But I wouldn't know what else to tell you. I've never strayed far from the ports.
What do you think of our port?
Are you referring to this one? It is the biggest high seas port on the continent.
Which is pretty awesome.
Prince, even though it remains part of your city, it holds a particular status for us Nords. Certain zones are owned completely by us, and maritime law holds office. It's a good port. Were it not for the Malachor, it would be a pleasant place to dock.
Yeah, the Malachor is just bad news bears. All right, well, we're off. Let's go do some research, guys.
To have a word with that people smuggler the sailor mentioned.
He's a captain, Kurt, like yourself. And in order to interrogate the smuggler, we'll need to find a way into his jail.
So, we're on the hunt right now for some alternative clothing items. So, I know that there's sailor stuff around somewhere. We can get them from just doing some mission stuff. And we're not going to force our way in anywhere until we've had a chance to sort of collect that sort of stuff. Like, I'm not going to spend the gold if I don't have to. Let's see here. Oh, we found some hoof fungus already and some other ones. And of course we know about the ore. And we've got a ruby! Okay, we've got Cardinal Antonius, Ambassador Sahin, Kurt, of course, and I'm surprised we don't have Vasco yet, but I guess we haven't recruited him yet, so he doesn't count yet. Heretic Hunt, Charlatan, Disappearance Among the Knots. So we're gonna do the I think we'll do the coin guard bit first here. Except we're already at the port, so let's see if we can tackle some of the knot stuff real quick. Looks like we've covered a majority of this map at this point already. And I've barely been trying. I know there's some stuff over here I need to do, but let's do this. Let's do this.
The hiding place of this smuggler is filthy. But perhaps we'll discover some useful information.
So by doing this, we're actually going to find some sailor's garb, I think, which will allow us to go check some other stuff. We're going to go into the storehouse. We're going to go into the smuggler's den thing first. And we're going to talk to one of the two contacts. I can't remember who's in here, though. Is this Loro or Flavia?
Good day. Someone told me that you're a friend of Jonas's, the young cabin boy who's gone missing.
That's right, yeah. Are you looking for him?
Yes. Your captain asked me to go and find him.
Happy to hear he's taken the disappearance seriously. What can I do for you?
Let's just go down the whole list.
2 days ago, in the evening. We went to have a drink in the tavern. Jonas, Lauro, and myself.
Did anything seem out of the ordinary? Was he troubled?
Maybe a tad troubled. Like he was somewhere else.
Why would that be? Give me your best guess.
Why? I haven't the faintest idea.
Idea. I like that. Sounds a little Australian, though.
When you're on land?
He just hangs around here or there. You know the cabin boys don't have half a sailor's wages. And when evening comes, we usually go down the tavern with good old Lauro.
Did he ever have one too many?
Never. He sips his pint like it was bad medicine. One drink lasts him the whole night.
Does he know anyone in Serene?
No one, far as I know.
Do you think he could have made himself any enemies?
I wouldn't think that for a moment. Jonas has a good heart and he steers clear of trouble and troublemakers.
I don't know where to start with this. Do you have any idea?
No. Lauro won't stop telling anyone who will lend him an ear that the boy was carried off by thugs.
And you don't believe him?
I like Lauro, don't get me wrong, he's like a brother. But to be honest, he drinks a little more than he should. The itch for a drink gets us all, but to him more than others, and when you drink too much, the imagination wanders. Here, yesterday, it was me who tied one over, and I thought I heard Jonas's voice by the canal. I called back to him, as you guessed, but then nothing. Drink. It blurs the senses.
Well, might as well ask about the captain.
Captain Vasco.
He's a damn good navigator, and an excellent leader of men. He knows his craft well, in spite of being so young.
How old is he?
He's not seen his 25th year yet.
Damn!
If he keeps it up, he'll be an admiral one day.
24-year-olds, and he's one of the best. Makes you feel a little inadequate when you're my age. 2 new clients. They want to go to Al Sad, and the Inquisitors are on his heels, which will not make my job any easier. I think I can get them onto the ship conspicuously, but we'll have to be cautious, and I hope they will prove patient and discreet. Hide them away in the warehouse behind the harbor's office. Okay. Nice little extra find there. And look at that. There's the sailor's coat we need. So now I don't actually have to go into... I don't have to really go anywhere unless I throw on the sailor's coat, and then I can walk right into the sailor's main office. So let's do that. Oh, right, we're going to go talk to Lauro. First things first, though, we're going to throw on the sailor's jacket, sailor's coat. And I'm going to show you guys how the disguise system works in this game, just because I have a moment to do so, you know? I'm just going to rip raw on over here to the Not Warehouse. We're not going to keep this on. I don't actually like wearing this one. It's very low for armor and stats and such. I didn't actually have the leather coat in my first playthrough, which is a much better piece of armor. Let's take that. That seems good. Hello. So yeah, you'll see the factions icons when you go over to places. So this is a Not Warehouse, which I don't actually see as a faction icon at this point. But anyway, I'm in a Not Warehouse right now, just milling about. And no one's gonna say a peep to me because I'm wearing a sailor's outfit, which means I'm safe. Don't have high enough lockpicking skill. Well, eventually I will. Because I always kick myself for not taking the lockpicking skill early. Just even having tier 1 lockpicking is so freaking good. Need lockpicking level 1. Eventually you find a key, I think, in here, so... Yeah, I need lockpicking level 1, period, so... Wait, unless... Do I need lockpicking for this one? Nope, I can just get this one. Look at all the sailors stuff I just found in there. So I can actually sell off one of the sailors coats, because I don't need more than one. I've already got one. Pick up the keys to Old Serene's jail. Nope, need to get that lockpicking skill. That sweet, sweet lockpicking skill. Well, we'll come back for all that later, though. Because we're not going to sell off all of our sailor's garb, so... Yay. I love getting more stuff.
I've seen a few escapes in my time, but I never thought I'd see someone go to all this trouble to break into a prison. Thank you, my lord. And don't worry about me. I'll slip outside without being seen. Thank you, my lord. And don't worry about me. I'll slip outside without being seen.
It's blocked.
Oh, I guess I could probably have cleared that entrance, couldn't I? Excuse me, gentle folks. Need that lockpicking skill, something fierce. Yeah. So I'm gonna actually have to come back here and do this whole section of the game after I get a level. So how close are we to a level? We're not that close, but we're getting there. We gotta be like level 4 though, I think, to get lockpicking level 1. So we're gonna see what we can do to complete some more quests real quick here. Let's have a look at our quest options. Quest options, what we got? What we got? We got investigate the disappearance of the Not Novice. Didn't have to do that, but we know where those guys are, so we can go do that at any point. We should do the coin guard bit too, because that advances some of the main storyline, but we can also just do this. So we can sneaky beak our way around like this. Down we go, through the hole in the wall, up the ladder, and there are the heretics. So, this is where you see me immediately stray.
Did the smuggler send you?
The man to which you are referring was arrested and thrown into prison.
but reveal to me your hiding place.
Not through his words, though.
Traitor! Have you come to deliver us to the Inquisition, then?
Absolutely
Please,
not.
Please, have pity on our souls. We have committed no crime.
No, they
We
haven't.
are not heretics. We are nothing more than historians.
And I think that's
In that
beautiful.
case, why is the ambassador of Thélème so concerned about your teachings? Why is the Inquisition looking for you, and why are you hiding?
Our only error was wanting to publish our work.
It's true. We presented our research, but it didn't please the censor. And here you have the result.
We fled all the way to Serene, thinking we would be safe. But the Inquisition wants to silence us so badly that they followed us here.
Tell me more about your research. What about it is so horrifying that it would provoke such a fuss?
Our work concerned the teachings of St. Lucius.
The disciple of Saint Matthias. The one who returned to Thélème after traveling with his master.
The very same.
I like that our character knows so much about this faith that he cares nothing about.
With the discovery of Tir Fredie, we thought it crucial to take a look at the original text. We wanted to verify if this island could have been the faraway place that he spoke of. The Eden of Saint Matthias.
And? What did you find?
Tir Fredie is without any doubt the land that our Saint Matthias and his disciples went to. But the text that we discovered was radically different from what we expected to find.
In the original text, Saint Lucius doesn't speak of an Eden, of the paradise of the illuminated. He speaks of a voice that came from the depths of the earth, which convinced Saint Matthias to stay there.
It was written in black and white, and there is no doubt about it. The original was written in Lucius's own hand.
I understand now what that text has cost you. This voice from the depths sounds more the power of a demon than a saint.
The sacred texts are always difficult to interpret, but what is written is written.
All right.
Who were you hoping would give you asylum?
We were hoping to reach Al-Sad. The Inquisition won't chase us into the den of their enemies.
Interesting.
Our research won't interest the Bridge Alliance, or at least I doubt it. But at least we'll be safe.
By entering Al-Sad as clandestines, you risk being taken for spies.
That would be better than being burned at the stake.
It's true.
Did you
That
try
right there.
speaking with the senses? You could forget what you have discovered.
This right
perhaps.
here.
Oh, we have signed already an abjugation stating that we misunderstood the sacred texts of St. Lucius. We were even ready to say that we had never seen the true text, or anything else that would have pleased them.
It served no purpose. It's our lives they are after.
And that right there, that's enough reason for me to not want to help the
Well, you have no
church.
other choice but to run and seek refuge in enemy territories.
I beg of you, please do not deliver us to them. Let us continue on this path.
I don't have the heart to deliver you to the Inquisition.
God, no.
But I cannot do much else to help you. Your smuggler is locked up. Maybe there are others in his band that can help you. Be careful and discreet, and you will survive.
Oh, thank you, sir. You are a just man. May the Illuminated protect you.
Yeah, whatever.
Thank you for having heard us and helped. You are truly full of kindness.
Yep. And that's what we want to portray, that personality.
It'll be the end of you, but that doesn't bother me. I wouldn't have wanted those poor buggers to end up on a burning pyre.
It would seem that I'm not the only one with a tender heart.
Alright, so we've got some stuff we've done now. So we're just going to sneak back out the top. The whole goal behind wearing the sailor's outfit is to avoid pissing off the knots. We like the knots. We like Vasco. So why make them mad? If we have literally no reason to make them angry, why would I make them angry? You know? Okay, so we're going to go back to investigating the Knot Novice because we want to complete some more stuff while we're in the ports here, so we don't have to go quite as far. Woo! That was fun. Love it when the game doesn't quite catch up. So this is what I would call an A title. Not a AAA title for sure, because it's not made by a big name. But the game is good. The gameplay is fluid. A couple of small errors with my computer early, but otherwise it's run flawlessly. I really like how fluid the characters move. It's really clean. As I was mentioning earlier on, there was one complaint a couple of friends of mine have, and that's that the lip synchronization with the actual words they're saying is pretty... It's pretty rough. But, like, considering what we're looking at here, this is not a AAA title. This is not even close. I guarantee you the budget is very different on this game. It turned out a very solid game with a very solid world.
Good day, sailor. I've been told that you know the missing cabin boy well. Is that right?
You talking about Jonas? You bet your stars I know him. But like I've been crying to the 9 deaf winds, he didn't go missing, he was taken.
Okay, let's do this. What does he know?
Yes, I was. Even though I'd had a few tumblers in the belly, I hadn't yet lost my head. The other day, in the tavern, I saw him talking to a well-dressed man, surrounded by some other sly ruffians. And then when we left, him and I, Flavia left a little earlier, you understand. Well, those brutes were there, waiting for him. They just up and took him like that. Grabbed his arms and poof. Gone. Vanished.
Why didn't you intervene?
I tried to, believe me. But my legs betrayed me. Wavering they were. And I fell into the gutter.
Did you report this to the captain?
Unfortunately not. I know all too well what weight my words carry. Even Flavia treated me like a drunken fool. And the captain? No, not telling him that. I still have some pride left. You get me?
Well.
Did Jonas seem troubled to you the night he disappeared?
Oh, he was kidnapped, so probably.
For sure, he wasn't his usual self.
Do you know what was on his mind?
No. No idea.
All right. What else do you know about the
Why would
kidnappers?
anyone want to snatch a mere cabin boy?
How would I know? Jonas is a gentle boy who keeps his head down. You'd think my story is nothing but mist too, don't you?
It's just that I can't imagine a gang of thugs hoping to get a ransom for a cabin boy. Did anyone else see the kidnapping?
There was still a small crowd in the tavern. But outside, I seem to recall that regular being there. We play cards with him from time to time. Kind of fellow who plays from morning to night time to be that skilled. But now and again he comes out. When nature calls, you know. I kind of remember his face being there.
Well, there you go. Let's get some information on Captain Vasco.
He's a just man who knows his knots. He's well appreciated by the crew. It's a pity that he hasn't much heart for laughs now and again. Always seems unhappy, our captain.
He's an ambitious man.
I need to be going.
All business. That's why he's good.
Something isn't right here, I can feel it. We need to lift the veil on this.
Alright, so we're being told to go interrogate a witness, but we're going to head to the Coin Guard Tavern in order to find the witness. So while we're there, let's go talk to the Coin Guard lieutenant or captain or something. We're supposed to go look for the guy who would know... Oh, well, that guy's either dead or unconscious. I hope he's unconscious, because if he's dead, that's a... People are just, like, leaving people there in the ditch, you know? Could always go do that as part of another one of the quests. Knock another one out of the park here. I mean, my hat is definitely out of style. It's an old hat. Alright, so. There he is. So we're going to dig around in here a little bit. I haven't... Oh, no, there's nowhere to dig. Okay, well, let's go talk to the guy then.
Sir Desade, I presume. It is an honor to make your acquaintance. Captain, you set sail soon. Have you seen to our little business?
Yes. We were finally able to recover your merchandise.
Excellent news. I'm afraid, though, that your mission isn't completely finished, Kurt.
Blast me, I'm a captain, not an errand boy.
The commander was quite explicit.
Very well. What do I need to do?
The merchandise that you obtained needs to be sent to Tier 4D as soon as possible. But the Port Authority formalities for shipping take an eternity to wade through. And we've already lost quite a bit of time with this dishonest merchant.
Are you blatantly asking us to smuggle this merchandise and contraband?
I would never ask you to do such a thing, Your Excellency.
Ah, but you don't mind asking that of Kurt?
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed in that too.
If he finds an alternative solution that is less illegal, that would be fine. The method matters not. But this cargo must reach the Isle on the next ship.
Marvelous.
Well then, I await your return with utmost impatience.
All right.
I'm certain you shall do what's required.
Okay, so first thing we're doing, we're going to switch to some better armor because I'm tired of wearing this not amazing armor. Second thing, apparently we've got better gloves and boots, so let's have a look. We've got better for pretty much everything else except for armor rating, and we really want to keep our armor rating up nice and high. Sailor's boots are... all we lose is elemental resistance, but we gain more armor out of the deal. That's it. Okay, that's worth it to me. I like more armor. Armor is really good to have lots of, in my opinion. Doesn't really weigh you down all that much, so that's not so bad. Okay, so... let's have a chat here.
It's such a pleasure to see you again. Have you seen anything to your liking? What might I help you with?
There's some pistols, but I've already got a regulation pistol. I can't use any of these due to my lack of... is it just finances to buy these things? I won't be using that. This is what I really want to buy. But it's less physical damage, an increase in armor damage. New hats. I'm probably going to be all in on tricorns and stuff like that when we get where we're going, but I'm not going to be buying priest vestments or alchemist caps or berets or any of that nonsense. That seems to be the best one right there, the old explorer's hat. I'd like to see how many more things we're going to find over the course of the portion while we're here. This is going to be good to have, the sailor's cape. So we're going to buy that for sure. We got the money for that, right? Yes, we do. And we're going to wear it as well. Although I know it clips through our very long coat. But the cape gives us a +1 to charisma. So if I'm remembering this correctly at this stage, let's have a quick look here at our attributes. Not our attributes, sorry, our talents. We now have tier 2 charisma because we're wearing a cape. Which at this stage is pretty much going to trivialize most encounters where we try to do any kind of talking. Got some gold coins from there. There's some gold coins we can pick up here. Just jaunt around the bar a little bit, and now up to the dude, talk to the guy.
Good day to you. What is your pleasure?
He's gonna have a lot to tell us about lots of things. So let's start with asking about Constantine.
My cousin. His name is Constantine. I believe he was intent on celebrating his departure last night.
There was indeed a party here last night, but it ended badly.
Uh-oh.
Whatever do you mean?
A brawl broke out. My tavern was shattered, and no one's paid for the damages.
I'm sorry. Amongst the rebel rousers, did there happen to be a young man? 20 years of age, hair down to his neck, light brown, blue eyes, quite the talker.
I don't believe it. Of course he was there. He's the man that started the fight.
Of course he
I
is.
hope you've come to reimburse me. Don't count on me to help you if that's not the case.
What kind of damage are we talking about exactly?
A good half of my furniture was broken into firewood. I piled up the lot over there.
Let me take a look. Perhaps it can be repaired.
If you can fix it, I'll be obliged. If not, you'll need to pay.
We can afford to pay him 25 gold pieces. Let's just pay.
Here you are, to cover your expenses.
Excellent. Honest books makes for honest friendships. Your cousin is either a very bad joker or a right good fool. He went and insulted a band of ruffians from the lower boroughs.
Well, that's gonna be fun.
Fellows. They've a storehouse they operate out of a few streets from here.
What kind of business do they run?
Several, actually, and they're all illegal and profitable. But you didn't hear that from me. In any case, if you were set on recovering your cousin, I would hurry if I were you. They're not the tender sorts.
So I could have done it for probably a lot cheaper, but I would have had to acquire metal doweling, and I already had the 25 gold on hand, so...
Seemed like a courageous fellow who could down his pint. Anything else?
Yeah, we got quite a few other things, actually. We got a cabin boy we got to ask some questions about. Ask him about the kidnapping.
I'm looking for a Nort, a young cabin boy who's been missing roll call for 2 days now.
A Nort, you say? That's not a lot to go on. There are quite a few that come to my tavern.
According to one of his fellows, he would have been taken right here.
A kidnapping? In my establishment? You shouldn't jest. Or at least I hope you do. I would have noticed. That doesn't hold water.
Okay, well...
Someone told me about one of your faithful clients. A big gambler, it would seem.
I see. An able-bodied man. Passes his time lightening the pouches of sailors coming through.
Where might I find him at this time?
Here? He would never give away his chair at his table. Anything else?
So we could ask about the Malachor if you guys want to hear more about the disease. I think that's probably not a bad idea.
Has the Malachor really put a damper on your business?
More than a damper. They were soaked. When the sickness began to spread, a wave of panic followed in its wake. People stopped going out of their homes. They were afraid. I was close to closing shop, I tell you. And then, thankfully, the alchemists of the bridge said that you couldn't just catch it like that. People were still distrustful, as is their nature, but they are leaving home again. It's a start. I also lost quite a few regular customers. Dead or too scared to venture back. Oh, but that's nothing new to you. The city would have sunk in the water if not for trade with the new isle.
Alright, well, that's enough.
I need to be off. Farewell.
Goodbye.
So this is our dude. Let's have a chat. Notice he's not in a chair or at a table.
I don't recognize you. Am I in your debt?
No. Have no fear about that. It's for a different reason that I am here. I'm looking for a Nort that disappeared 2 days ago, after visiting this establishment.
He's got the Malachor.
Cabin boy.
We don't.
2 members of his crew accompanied him.
Yes, that does ring a bell. I've played with the 3 of them.
What can you tell me about the boy? How was he that night?
He seemed rather nervous, as if he was worried about something. Didn't feel like playing, that I remember. And he must have been right to be nervous, if he's disappeared.
Tell me what happened that evening.
A rich merchant came in, with a band of strong arms. The kind of men you can round up for a few coins, if you catch my drift. They exchanged words with the cabin boy. The kid was defensive, not sitting pretty. And then they finally left.
And after that?
It just so happens that I did go out for a breather. I needed some fresh air. And I think I might well have seen those same men grab him. But that was none of my business.
Yeah, okay, there it is. The deflection.
Kidnapping him, if that's what it was. They weren't particularly rough with him.
Who was the rich merchant, do you think? A jilted lover? A moneylender?
No, sir. You are in luck. It so happens that I know the man. It was Sir Fontaine.
We've already found the back door to his warehouse, so we'll try and go in there.
He has a house in the wealthy boroughs, just off the canal. A stone's throw from the Thélème embassy.
Thank you. You've been immensely helpful.
This man is completely owned by his love for the game. Do you think we can trust him?
What would he gain from lying?
I have no idea. But what would any wealthy merchant gain from holding a penniless child?
Don't be afraid. Come, celebrate the miracle of science. You won't believe your... Citizens, I present to you Panacea, the absolute cure of everything. Toothache, stomach ailment, and even an open wound.
This potion heals all of that. And more still. This little phial is the product of years of research and intensive labor.
Snake oil salesman.
I hear you asking if this remedy can heal one from the Malachor. Alas, not yet. But your question is legitimate. I am so close to finding the cure. But the Malachor isn't the only ailment causing you to suffer. Not true? Then don't miss out on this chance and give yourself a healthy and energized life. Rejoice! A phial only costs a few coins, and well worth it to make your life shiny and new again.
Does it really heal everything, your potion?
Everything. Absolutely everything. Except the Malachor, of course. That being said, it is known that those in top health resist the Malachor best of all. Then don't throw away this chance. Think of all the pains that this potion could help you avoid.
You are right. It's a deal. I'm gonna take two.
There's a man that knows a good deal when he sees one.
You think he's a plant?
Now, there won't be enough for everyone.
I don't think he's a plant, but could have been.
He's our man, no doubt.
His speech is well polished. I even feel like buying some.
And if we had a word with him, I wonder if he'll serve us the same routine.
Let's find out.
Ah, you're finally tempted.
In all honesty, I haven't made up my mind yet. I want to be certain that I'm not dealing with a charlatan.
In this day and age, I can't blame you. What might I do to convince you?
Will you drink one of your potions to prove your good faith?
Of course. I take a little sip every morning. But as I'm in perfect health, you won't be able to verify the improvement in my condition. But if it helps you make up your mind, give me just a moment. There now. As you see, I am still in excellent condition.
Come on now, I swear you take that vial out of your pocket.
We didn't,
Nothing proves
but we don't
that
see
it's
anything.
the same potion that you sell to your clients.
As a man of science, I consider skepticism a remarkable quality. But in your case, it is not skepticism, but blindness.
We need to steal one of these potions and force him to drink it.
Brilliant idea, Kurt. Let's take a look at his cart.
So, we're going to complete this really quick quest. Because we can.
To my help, and death to the others! Move away! Things are about to get dicey!
Oh, Kurt won his fight. Good. And we are now level 2. Fantastic. So we're actually going to have some stuff we can do now with respect to doing some leveling. Oh, is Kurt on fire or something? Or yeah, so we can do this stuff now. So this is the level wheel. This is the skill wheel. We can do all sorts of stuff if we want for this. I really like the idea of going into some one-handed blades. Increases our overall damage with one-handed blades by 10%. So that's what I'm going to buy. And we just picked up... Well, we knew about the Sailor's Cape because we put it on right away. And we just got some boots, which give us elemental resistance of +4. We don't need to worry about that so much right now. Might come up again later. Okay, let's loot some stuff. These pages are covered in small, almost illegible handwriting, experiments, results, patient observations, and incomprehensible symbols. But the complexity of some recipes leaves no room for doubt. The author was a true alchemist and was certainly very knowledgeable. Louise, the weird alchemist of the Alliance who rented a room upstairs, specifically asked us not to clean during his stay. This old fool must not want us to accidentally break his files or something like that. So leave him in his filth as the customer is always right. Well, like, we know where he's staying now, so we know where to find him later. Now, as much as this guy is a real alchemist and everything like that, he's still a snake oil selling. So I don't like that.
I happen to have a vial of your medicine. Would you be willing to drink it in front of us? To prove that there is no risk?
This bullying is trying my patience. I'm beginning to suspect that you might be working for a rival.
You refuse to taste it.
You might have put something in it to cause me harm or further disgrace.
No, look. The vial is still sealed. It comes straight from your stock.
And you dare challenge me when you have just admitted to being a thief?
Come now. You can see for yourself that I'm gladly returning your vial, so that you might drink it in front of witnesses. This might help to dissipate my doubts, as well as those of these brave folk.
Yes, no, you don't have the right.
Damnation. He got away. He can't have gone far.
Find him before his head ends up on a spike.
Think back to the note that we found. We need to take a look at the tavern. He won't leave the city without his belongings.
There's a lot of people out here.
The furniture is in terrible condition. The fight must have been extremely violent. Tavern keeper.
I see you're back. Can I pour you something this time?
I need to be off. Farewell.
I thought we had to ask him something, but I guess not. Oh wow, suddenly it populated and that scared me a little bit. From 0 population to suddenly like 20 people down here. I can't remember how to get to the top floor, so this might take a minute here, folks. Whoa, hello. Not much of anything happening down here though, is there? Oh, we found the kitchen. Don't know that I've ever been into this kitchen before.
I don't have the key.
I don't have the key? What do you mean I don't have the key? Well, that's fine. Oh, I found some metal dowels. I could possibly do the repair thing still if I wanted. Just for a little extra, you know? Not really any particular reason. I could just do it. Hello. Got the storeroom key. Oh, I need lockpicking. I really need that first skill in lockpicking. You don't think about it until you're without it, and then just suddenly you're like, I wish I had that thing so much. There's like 100 chests I could have opened. Anyway. Let's go have a chat with our alchemist friend we're going to arrest.
You again? What are you doing in my room?
I'm not the only one that has found you. Have you seen the mob that is gathering in the street?
I'm neither deaf nor blind. By the spheres. Why didn't I leave the city while there was still time?
The Alliance ambassador is quite unsettled by your commerce, and he is the one who sent me.
Sahin. Him again. Ruining my career wasn't enough for him. He's the very reason I had to leave the Alliance. And here I am, playing the part of the potion maker. Me, who was once a respected member of the Academy of Al-Sad.
Dr. Sahin warned me that you were an imposter.
That doesn't surprise me coming from him. I was a master alchemist.
But
I understand if you don't believe me after all that. But I have a number of documents to prove it. I would still be one if Sahin hadn't set up a chain of machinations to disgrace me.
Why does Sahin bear you such hatred?
I wasn't fortunate enough to oppose certain great minds of the Academy. To criticize their methodology. I saw them inflicting torture on sick prisoners. making them drink the most vile
Oh,
poisons.
God.
Find a remedy to the Malachor. They
So-
won't hesitate to kill. I could not keep my silence.
It is for an act of courage that you fell from grace and earned Sahin's hatred.
So see, on the one hand, what the Bridge Alliance is doing is just heinous, positively awful. On the other, they're trying to make advancements toward medical science, and we like the Bridge because for the most part, they're not the worst. But they're not great either. What is he selling?
Shame to have poisoned those poor souls.
These potions are not harmful. That is to say that they don't contain any harmful ingredients.
But you could just as easily produce real healing potions. So why don't you?
You don't understand. I fled, but I haven't put a stop to my own research. This potion is an attempt to create in those who drink it a resistance to the Malachor.
So you manipulate people to use as experimental fodder. That is completely...
Yeah, how is that actually any better,
I
though?
don't have a choice, but it does not harm them, I assure you.
If this potion were inoffensive, then why wouldn't you drink it when I offered it to you?
I ran tests on myself for such a long time that I ended up becoming intolerant to it. A small sip of this mixture provokes in me now a violent reaction. I mean, the mob would have been furious in any case, but a normal dose, I assure you, is without risk.
See, you say that, though, but you developed a freaking intolerance to
I
it.
don't torture people. And this potion only has side effects in high doses.
Perhaps, but you're hurting innocents. I cannot let your commerce continue.
So, what are you going to do with me, sir?
Yeah, he's not any better. He's not any better, so I'm going to arrest him.
I'm sorry, but I don't trust you. I'm going to deliver you to Dr. Sahin.
Sir, I beg you to spare me.
I've heard enough. You're under arrest.
How unjust.
See, the way I see it, he's exactly the same. Peace you were hoping for in Serene since your departure from the Academy. The situation has been deplorable. Those you now accused are behaving as if those rules do not apply to them, performing their experiments, and there is nothing the rest of us can do to apart from keeping a low profile. Sincerely, oh.
I am finished. Sahin is going to throw me in the bottom of a deep cell, if not worse.
Well, I'm gonna walk. I'm going to walk because I think I'm going to... the mob is going to eat him alive anyways, so... That's the thing. There's no situation where there's an ethical winning from that particular exchange. That guy was screwed from the get-go. I feel bad, but at the same time... There was no scenario I was going to do that and feel really good about my decision. So... We'll finish the Bridge Alliance quest real quick here.
Your Excellency.
Lord de Sade.
I tracked down your man near the Coin Guard barracks.
Finally. Did you capture him?
Let's just say I put an end to his activities. His reputation in Serene is forever tarnished. Matters turned out a little more complicated than anticipated. He is hiding in a room in the Coin Guard Tavern.
I have no choice.
Why didn't you have him arrested?
Angry citizens have gathered round the building. They have sworn to avenge themselves after discovering his fraud. I decided it better to avoid the mob. But if you wish to capture him alive, I advise you hurry.
Governor Buren will be happy to learn that a legate with great assiduity will soon be joining the island of Tir-Fredi. Thank you for your help, Excellency, and allow me to offer you this modest present for your voyage.
I need to be going. Goodbye, Excellency.
Goodbye, Lord de Sade.
Alright, so that's another quest complete. So we've got a few minutes left of the stream. I think I can definitely go knock out the Thélème quest as well, because I'm basically done at this point. Because it's just over here. So we'll knock that one out real fast. Hit level 3.
Good day, Excellency.
Sir de Sardet, to what do I owe the pleasure?
It pains me to inform you that the heretics you seek have fled.
Curse them! How could that possibly have happened?
We're gonna lie.
Alas, these renegades have found protection with the ambassador of the Bridge Alliance. I would not have been able to capture them without risking a diplomatic incident that my uncle would have condemned.
The bridge. I thought as much. Those heretics have turned to them. But I had hoped that you might intervene quickly enough to stop them. It is truly regrettable. We have nothing else to do but pray that the Luminous might shield us from their lies.
Alright, so that would do it right there.
I must be going. Farewell, Excellency.
We are now level 3.
May the light guide you, de Sardet.
Alright, let's do a level up real quick here. So we got another one of these boys to spend. That increases the damage from our firearms. This one will increase our damage from our weapon. Yeah, we're never going to go for the long blade thing, so... We are going to want to go for this eventually. So if we can just go all the way up one of these really fast, because we are going to use our gun. It's going to come up. So let's go actually, let's dump some points into that, make our gun do more damage when we shoot with it. Okay, so that's 2 quests down. A couple left to complete here. Let's see what we got here. We got the Fontaine family house is right the hell there. Find a way to move the cargo. So we're gonna continue this storyline a little further because I'm right here. Might as well. I mean, if we're this close.
Might I help you, sir?
I would like to have a word with Sir Fontaine.
He is absent, but the lady of the house could certainly receive you.
She seems very unenthused. So she's just the family servant. Okay, she's not even like anyone important at all. Hurts to say that, but that's okay.
Oh, I know you. I've seen you at court. You are Lord de Sardet.
Yes.
And to what do I owe the honor of your visit, Excellency?
I would like to have a word with your husband.
He is not here, but perhaps I could be of help.
It concerns a delicate matter. We're looking for a missing cabin boy. According to witnesses, he had an argument with your husband before being taken.
I see. I am afraid that you have been misled. You seem to have come to the wrong conclusion. The cabin boy you speak of was not taken. He has simply returned home.
Excuse me, but I'm not sure I understand.
Don't you see, Your Excellency? We got our son back.
I am very surprised. Several witnesses confirmed that your son had a fight with your husband, and that his men escorted him from the tavern using force. If he had joined your husband willingly...
Witnesses? In a tavern? And you choose to believe these drunkards over a respectable family?
They have nothing to hide.
These witnesses are all in agreement, and it's their testimonies that have led me to your doorstep.
Yep.
My son was probably shocked to have found us. My husband and the other men might have simply had to carry him. A gesture that your drunkards must have misunderstood.
It's possible. It is possible.
What was your son doing on a Naut ship? Why would they have taken him?
It is what they do. Through pacts and contracts, they steal away young children from their mothers.
What are you talking about?
I would have thought that a legate would know these things.
We don't actually know much about the Nauts yet.
It is true that you are young and inexperienced. It seems that you have been protected from the turpitudes of our own nation and their terrible allies. This horrible, constant ransoming that they put us through. But I will not say another word. You will have no trouble verifying the details now that you know what to look for.
Where might I find your son now?
I cannot say, Excellency. You must understand why. Until the Nauts have set sail, we live in fear they will take him back from us.
This pact? It sounds like some fear-inducing story.
The Nauts wouldn't be the first to recruit through dubious means.
And they won't be the last either. Press gangs are real. Okay, so following up on this storyline a little further. We've been up there before. Yes, we have. Just trying to make sure we've been everywhere so we can collect everything we can. We only got a little bit of the stream left, as you guys know at this point. We're only down to the last 5 minutes here. I don't actually know how much more I'm going to get done in the next 5 minutes. I think what I'd like to do, though, real quick is save. Honestly, my hope was to finish all the stuff in Old Serene in the first stream here, but we had those technical difficulties which slowed me down a little bit, so... What's over this way? Oh, hey, box. I'll take all that stuff. Alright, so we got a lot of stuff we got to go talk to Vasco about. A couple different things anyways. So 2 different quests hinge on us talking to Vasco first.
Sir, you still haven't found your cousin. As you well know, we cannot leave without him.
Have no fear. I will bring him back in time to make our scheduled departure. Is everything ready?
I'm still without news of my cabin boy, but we will have to do without.
Well, we've got news about his cabin boy, so let's do this.
I spoke with a woman who told me she was the mother of the cabin boy. She claims that her son was taken from her.
Taken? Her son is sea gifted. His parents were required to give him up to honor the terms of a contract.
A contract? But what kind of contract are we speaking of?
A commercial contract. In exchange for services rendered by the Nords, some families cede more than gold. In some cases, nations even trade some of their subjects before they're born. I wouldn't be able to tell you the condition of Jonas's contract. I didn't even
Oh, hey Bambi, how you doing?
Serene. But what I can tell you is the young man hasn't seen his parents since he was a small child. And ever since, he's been a Nord. Our ships are his home. We are his only family.
All right, well, there you go.
I have a favor to ask before we leave.
I'm all ears.
We would like to load some merchandise into your ship.
Good, I'm happy to hear it.
Impossible. You're too late for that. All merchandise must be registered at the Port Authority, and the formalities are long. So, unless you're asking me to turn smuggler...
Yay for successful navigation of grocery shopping.
I wouldn't go that far. We're only talking about a few crates after all.
Well then, they'll have to wait. The next ship for New Serene leaves in a month.
Hellfire. If that shipment doesn't leave today, the commander will have my hide.
We'll find a way.
I understand your position, but isn't there some way we can get these crates on board?
I doubt it. Even if I wanted to help you, my quartermaster is a half-crazed bridge trawler. He's gotten into his head that a gang of ruffians want to use my ship to pass contraband over to Tier 4D. He's placed guards where our cargo is being held before being loaded. All that is not in the warehouse and noted on the manifest will be left on the docks. Sorry, but your crates are gonna have to wait until the next ship sets sail.
Sorry, Kurt. At least we tried.
The commander is gonna have my head. I'm sure that's what he wanted in giving me this impossible task.
In that case, we're going to have to doctor the manifest ourselves. It must be at the Harbour Master's office.
So we don't have any more questions here, but
Be back
that's
soon,
okay.
Captain.
You see anyone else who might be able to help us? Anyone who's not a Nords?
Sir de Corsillion's a veritable well of scientific knowledge. He could tell us a little more.
So we've got 2 options here. We can either go doctor the manifest ourselves by just dressing up and doing it, or we can... Actually, that's the way I'm going to do it because that's the way I always do it. The alternative, of course, is we can try and use a science skill we don't have any dots in, which will never work, by the way. So yeah, we're going to see if we can... You know what? I'm not going to be able to knock this out, so we'll just pause. We'll just go ahead and save it here. That's the spot right there. And that's where we're going to call it for the stream today. Yeah, we'll just do that. So I want to thank everyone who joined me today. Welcome to Kilroy's Game Grounds. This is what it's going to be, guys. It's probably going to be me playing a lot of RPGs. It'll either be for the next little while. It's going to be GreedFall. But don't worry, I've got like multiple Batman games on deck. I've got the Tomb Raider series on deck. Eventually, I'm going to have the Uncharted franchise on deck as well. I'm all in on basically spending a lot more time playing games that I'm personally more engaged by than repeating the same game over and over again. Because you guys watching me play the same game is fun, but I get tired eventually, and I'd like to play different games. So I hope you enjoy Kilroy's Game Grounds, the new Wednesday stream. I will catch you guys next week when I'm going to continue GreedFall. Hopefully we'll get off of Serene and you guys can see Tear for Tea. All right. Bye.